Hey guys, we're going to have a really quick look at learning the Major Pentatonic Scale. Now, a lot of you maybe have heard of the Minor Pentatonic Scale, but the Major Pentatonic Scale is just as important and can sound just as great, okay? Now you're probably thinking, pentatonic, what does that mean, okay? Well, penta means 5. So in the Major Pentatonic Scale, you've guessed it, 5 notes. Then you repeat the root note at the top, but the Major Pentatonic Scale, you can think of it as being 5 notes, okay? So let's just dive in. So we've got a major scale, and here's our major scale. We've got a C major scale. Now we made those notes, and we found those notes by using this series of tones and semitones, okay? So you've got tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. If you use those order of tones and semitones, you get that major scale. So once you've got that major scale, 1, 3, 5, 6. That's it. Get rid of all the other ones, and then you've got your Major Pentatonic Scale. So for example, here's what a major scale would sound like. Just leave out a few notes, and you've got the Major Pentatonic Scale. It's that easy. And remember, we've repeated the tonic, or we've repeated the first note, the C, all the way at the top. Alright guys, so let's have a look at 2 different ways of playing this scale. Now the first way I'm going to show you, it's going to be using notes all the way over in this end, you know, sometimes known as the open position or farmer's corner. It's got many different names, but what's great about this position is you can really start to see what notes you're actually playing and bringing the theory and the practical sense, everything bringing it together, okay? So we're going to jump in and we're going to play the C Major Pentatonic Scale. So start off with C, so your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. That's your C note. Then drop down a string and play that open D string. Then you're going to play your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. Drop down a string again, play an open G string. Then play your 2nd finger on the G string. On the 2nd fret, that's your A note. And then, last note, you go onto the 1st fret of the B string. So once again, don't forget to practice playing backwards. That's it, that's the Major Pentatonic Scale. So have a look at learning that and actually working out what notes you're actually playing, and then let's continue on with this version up here. Now what's great about this scale version is that we're playing it all the way up here, so it's going to be a bit higher, it's going to jump through the mix a little bit more when you're playing solos and melodies, but not only that is it's 2 octaves, okay? Meaning it's going from one C to another C to another C, okay? It's going up that 2 octave range there, whereas the first scale that I showed you in that position really only went from one C up another C, okay? So this is giving you a much broader range, that 2 octave range, and it's great for playing a lot of solos and creating your own melodies because you've got those notes on the higher string, so they will sort of cut through a little bit better. Now let's dive in. So 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the E string, that's your C note. Then pinky stretched out on the 10th fret of the thick E string. Then drop down a string, 1st finger, okay, on the 7th fret of the A string. Then pinky stretched out again on the 10th fret of the A string. Drop down a string again, 1st finger on the 7th fret of the D string. Pinky stretched out again on the 10th fret of that D string, and that's your C note. That's your 1st octave. Okay, so the other scale was only 1 octave, so we've played all the same notes in the other scale. Now we're going to continue on another octave. So let's continue from our pinky on the 10th fret of the D string, C. Okay, then drop down a string, 1st finger, 7th fret on the G string. 3rd finger, 9th fret on the G string. Drop down a string, 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the B string. Pinky on the 10th fret of the B string. And the last note is our 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the thin E string. So let's play that 2nd octave. That's all there is to it, the whole thing. Great, so remember when you're practicing to play it up and down and just have a think about what notes you're actually playing, okay? Great scale to have under your fingertips in terms of melodies and solos because it just jumps out. And another thing, because it's not like your normal major scale where you've got all these different scale degrees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because you are leaving a few out, okay? Because you're not playing every single scale degree and you're not running through the scale. Because you're not running all the way through that scale, because you're leaving some notes out, it already sounds a little bit more musical because it's leaving a little bit up to the imagination of the listener. How much better does that sound than just running through the major scale? Because when you run through every single note and every single scale degree without skipping notes or going forwards or backwards, you're not really giving a lot to the listener. It can sound a bit boring. So even just by playing the major pentatonic scale up and back, you're still leaving and skipping notes. It just sounds a little bit more musical to me. But that's what I think. What do you guys think? And the best thing is once you've learnt that particular scale shape and you've got that ingrained in your memory, all you need to do to create any other major pentatonic scale is see it's the C major pentatonic scale because we've started on our C note, which is our 8th fret on the thick E string. But if we were to go back to, let's say, the A note, so the 5th fret of the thick E string, then all we do is play the same shape and it's actually the A major pentatonic scale now. So C, and now A. If you want B, you just start on the thicker string of the B note. Because the great thing about guitar is there is these shapes and patterns. So once you've learnt that one major pentatonic scale, you've actually learned all the different scales. It all just depends on what note is on the thick string that you're starting on. So if you want D, major pentatonic scale, you just start on D. And so on. Well done, guys.